One, to be honest with you, from the first time I've been here when I was 12, 13, can't remember which year, but till now, I love it. This is why I built my house here. This is why I'm setting roots here. This is why anybody is familiar with the Berlin Conference when the Europeans decided to sit down and cut Africa up. They made those borders. Those borders didn't exist. It would put one ethnic group in charge and make them, if you don't know your past, then you don't know where you're going. And that's it. And it's true. Slavery is something that did damage to Africans all over the world, and in the history books in America, they only teach you about slavery and that's it. Like we just were slaves and that's it. No, we have a rich history that goes far. That is the plan. My plan is to retire here. However, I will continue traveling the world, continue traveling all over Africa. Follow your dreams and do exactly what it is you say you want to do. You can do it and be successful in it.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I go by the name Me, Myself, and I. Epic it was. Remember to like and share to this amazing video. I always want to say a very big thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing. Today I'm here with this amazing gentleman who is doing so much. In fact, I don't want to say too much. He's the one going to, introduce himself. I'm here with.
Zulu Soul. That's the name of my company, my business, and but my name is Malandela Zulu.
Wow. How did you get the name Zuru?
My father gave all of his children South African names, all of them. Yeah,
Because it sounds like South African
yeah,
name
it is.
for real.
It is Malandela Zulu. Yep. So all of us have South African names.
I see, I see. So why South Africa?
Well, at the time, back in the '60s, when there was a civil rights movement going on, my father was one of the freedom riders, the people who were fighting for the civil rights of African Americans in America. And he was one of the intricate folks, along with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Stokely Carmichael, different folks of that nature. And he thought that his ancestry came from Africa. He didn't believe what the Europeans taught him and what they were saying, like you were born here in America and that's it. No, our history goes way past that and it goes back to Africa. And so he figured out that he thought that we were from the southern part of Africa. So this is why he decided to give all his children African names. We were actually born with that. It wasn't like we were given that name. Not like my name was Bob at one point. Nothing wrong with Bob, if you out there. But yeah. So
What brought you to Ghana?
um, well, traveling. My first trip to Africa was to Tanzania and Kenya when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and then after that came back. I went to Senegal, Ivory Coast, and Ghana. That was on one trip, and during that trip, I love Senegal. I love Senegal. Coming back to see y'all soon. Ivory Coast. At that time when I went to Ivory Coast, it was a little rough because where we stayed and they just had a coup or whatever. But when I got to Ghana, and I was like 12, 13 years old, I felt at home. I really felt at home. And from the people to the food to the language, I'm still learning. Kakra, kakra. I'm still learning the language. But, I fell in love with it. And also subsequently, the religion that I practice of the Akan people, I was born into that also in America. But then, it just so happens that now I come back and forth and this is what I do. So,
Are you going to, let me say, stay forever in Ghana?
that is the plan. My plan is to retire here. However, I will continue traveling the world, continue traveling all over Africa and creating art and meeting new people, making connections, bringing that unity piece together. So that's the plan.
So for how long have you been doing your artwork? Like, for example, this one that we see at the back of us, that is what he does. And this is one of two of his paints, you understand, or his works and all that. How did you get to start all this?
I've been doing this since I was 8 years old, drawing. I started off a little amateur. I would draw like naked people or whatever, but I was 8 years old. However, I realized I had a talent, so I continued to draw and continued to master my techniques and learn from different artists who taught me, like Salah Damali, Kofi Tyus, and others. So, and from there, I kept on going. I kept on going. This is just something that I love to do. I love to create using my hands. Painting, drawing, putting things together, mixed media. It's just something I love to do. So ever since I was 8 years old, I continue to do it, and as I said before, I actually teach art. I've been teaching art for the past 25 years. It's been a minute. I've been teaching for a minute. However, I still create my art and have my own art show, not just in America, but all over the world. I've had art shows in Ivory Coast, had art shows in Burkina Faso. I haven't been to Senegal yet, but I'm coming there to do the art show there. So different places, and it's just something that I love to do. It really fills my spirit when I'm creating art.
Wow, that is so amazing. What do you think about African Americans or the diaspora coming back to the continent?
I think it's very important for any nationality to know where they come from. And in the history books in America, they only teach you about slavery, and that's it. Like we just were slaves and that's it. No, we have a rich history that goes far back to Africa and all over the world, to be honest with you. Because wherever you go, you're going to find some type of historical facts of Africans who have been there and are still there, and what they have taught the people who are there now.
Is this something that you want to teach people out here? Is this something that you just want to do your own thing?
So it's going to be a little bit of both. I'm a teacher. I teach. I've already started teaching here when I come, and I'm painting, and people say, "Ooh, what's that?" And I bring them on in and show them different techniques and things to do. And so I'll be teaching. I'll continue to do my art here, and continue to create and sell my artwork. Slavery affected everybody, the colonial powers when they first decided to come into Africa. They came and they were coming in peace, not really, but they were coming to conquer and take over. The thing is that slavery is something that did damage to Africans all over the world. I don't care where you go to this day, but I know if anybody is familiar with the Berlin Conference when the Europeans decided to sit down and cut Africa up, which is crazy, but that's what they did, and that's the reason why you still have Ewe cons, not just in Ghana, but in Ivory Coast and Nigeria and different all over because they made those borders. Those borders didn't exist, and then they also did the divide and conquer thing where they would put one ethnic group in charge and make them put down the other ethnic group. So, that's all over Africa and it's still going on to this day. So it still affects us to this day. I don't care whether you were enslaved yourself, but your ancestors were, and that effect is trickling down and continues to trickle down to us right now. However, we can't let that stop us from moving forward and being the best that we can be and do what we need to do for ourselves to be successful and have prosperity and abundance and everything that we want. So we got to just keep pushing forward. But it's important for us to know all about our history because Malcolm X says, what is it? If you don't know your past, then you don't know where you're going. And that's it. And it's true. So if you don't know where you come from, how you going to know where you're going?
That's true.
You have no idea who you are. So it's important for us to all to visit Africa at some point, and it doesn't have to be Ghana. You can go wherever, just visit, and you'll see somebody who looks just like you. You'll feel that energy, you'll feel that love, and it's something that I think is necessary for us all to do.
Well, how best do you think we can unite?
Like, let's say what you're doing right now, interviewing me. This is a way of us uniting,
Wow.
And again, there may be places or people who have resources, businesses that need the help from other people who have different ideas, but we need to just come together. And if we come together, we put all our ideas and our money and everything together, and we can create and do whatever we want to do.
Wow.
Nothing will stop us.
Nothing will stop us. In terms of the art that you are doing, do you think art can bring us together in some way, somehow?
Absolutely.
In which way?
Absolutely. Art definitely brings us together. From the images to the imagery to the colors, bringing us all together in one spot to even visualize and see. Or it can be an image of something that affects or you get something from that image. And it's not just one person. Someone may be driving past and they may see a mural or something that I did. And just the message alone that comes from that will bring us together.
Well, how do you get your inspiration from?
My inspiration are African people.
Wow.
And not just here in Africa, but Africans in the diaspora all over, because we're everywhere.
Do you consider yourself to be an African?
Absolutely. I'm African to the bone. Africa was born in me. That's it. It's all over the world. They do not educate us. They don't want us to know any of that. They want us to be ignorant to who we are and where we come from. So it's important for us to be educated and know where we come from and who we are. And if we do that, then I'm gonna tell you this. I've seen people in Washington D.C. that look just like people right here in Ghana. they can be brothers, they could be sisters, they could be their mother or their father. So we are all one. And I don't know what, because my skin isn't as dark as somebody else's skin, but look at me, you and me.
So I'm not
Exactly,
brony.
exactly.
So I'm not brony, right?
Yeah, but you're not, and neither am I.
Yeah, that's
Neither am I. So I'm home, and I'm glad to be home. So I want to continue to do the things that I'm doing here and teach, and just expose my art to those who haven't seen it, because there are plenty different messages and things that you will get from my art.
because without art, trust me, you will not even see the future of like how is this going to be the present, the let me say the past,
Hmm.
because the past videos or the pictures or let me say the paintings that we see, if it wasn't those kind of things, for example, you will never even know how even it exists. So art is really really important in
Hmm.
our life.
Hmm.
Your experience in Ghana.
My experience in Ghana has been a beautiful one, to be honest with you. From the first time I've been here, when I was 12, 13, can't remember which year, but till now. I love it. This is why I built my house here. This is why
Oh
I'm
wow.
setting roots here. This is why I'm continuing to do the things that I'm doing here in Ghana, but not just here in Ghana, different places in Africa. So, and I'm going to continue to do that. This is home. As I said, this is home.
If you have one question that you wish I should have asked you, I have so many questions. Any question that I should have asked you, what would be that question?
Hmm, that's a good question. Um, to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure. However, I'm glad that we had this opportunity to meet, and for me to be able to express and show people my art and show them what I do, and them to hear exactly what I'm about and where I come from. So, I mean, that's it. I think you did a great job.
Oh, thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir.
There is one question that I wish you could have asked that I should ask you, but I'll still ask you.
Okay.
Okay. Will you like people to invest into your art?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's, you know, here living on this earth, we need Sika to
Yeah.
move. We need money. So,
Okay.
and I do art because I love art.
Okay.
However, I also sell my art too,
Yeah.
because it's that's my bread and butter. That's what helps me to do the things that I do. To help me build this house, to help me travel, to help me feed my family, all of those things. That's what art does for me. So, absolutely. If anybody is interested in purchasing anything that I have here or want something made, I can do that. Come to your house, do a mural, paintings. It can be shipped. Doesn't matter. I can do it. And
Are you also interested in, you see, like for example, let me say, Charlie, is it Charlie
Charlie Wote
Wote
Festival. Yes, yes,
Festival?
absolutely.
You've seen this kind of art
Mhm.
that has been going on and
Mhm.
everything. Like for example, to Afrofuture, you see artists, art
Yeah.
out there and everything.
Mhm.
Would you love to also be part of like
I would
maybe
love to be a part
to
of that.
do this kind of thing?
Absolutely. And I've spoken to different people from members of the Charlie Wote
Hmm.
Festival, and also people from Afro Future. So
Hmm.
that's definitely something I'm
Hmm.
interested in.
So let's in the pipeline. Let's see something that is going to
It's going to
happen.
happen.
It's
Trust me.
going to
It's going to
happen.
happen next year. Well,
So
this year,
this year.
2024. 2024, we will make it happen. Y'all going
Okay.
to see more of Zulu Soul out here in Ghana. Support the arts, because art is important. It brings history, it brings energy, it brings all type of things that we need for ourselves to continue moving. Art is something that's beautiful, and some people will say, I'm not, art isn't important, but it is. Think about when you wake up in the morning and you put your clothes together and you put your makeup on and you do this. That's art. Or when you're decorating your house, or even when you're making a dish. That's art.
That's
Or even singing. That's
yeah.
art. So there's so many different forms of art, and I think we need to continue to support the arts, because that's something that is definitely important. Follow your dreams and do exactly what it is you say you want to do. You can do it and be successful in it.
That goes to you. So please, much where would they find you?
Zulu underscore soul on Instagram, and also Zulu Soul on Facebook.
Thank you. Peace out.
Peace.